So let's kind of shift to another topic real quick, right? The pandemic. When we talk about during that period of time up until now, what major stuff happened with you, with Callzilla? What happened in the business with you and your customers during that period of time? And what have you learned from that? Any big things that you learned from that? And what have you done since and going forward?
Thank you for the chance to talk about that. Some of the responses you won't be surprised at. We moved from a fully bricks and mortar operation to work from home. Everyone did that. Check. We checked the box. We did digital transformation. We started to utilize a significant number of tools to make experiences better, cheaper, faster. But most organizations did that as well. So I don't think we stand out necessarily from those things. I think that mid-pandemic to present time, there are two big shifts that we made in our business. Three shifts, sorry. The thing is, it's three. Number one, we added a geography in our footprint. So historically, over 18 years of servicing clients, we had only handled contacts from our nearshore location in Colombia. During the pandemic, we opened up and added South Africa for a number of different reasons. South Africa has native English. It's the most powerful and attractive service delivery point into the U.S. today. It wasn't as well known 2 or 3 years ago. It was certainly emerging, but here we are 2 to 3 years later, and it is the number one delivery point into the U.S. So I'm proud that we moved heaven and earth to put all of that together, and that's a great point for low agent attrition, a stable workforce, a hungry workforce that's focused on quality and customer experience. So we're very proud of that, and we've seen that our client base and our prospect base, it very much resonates with them, and they're very pleased with what we're able to offer from South Africa. So that's a big thing to have accomplished in general, but especially during the pandemic. And then I think another important thing, two more things. The stuff I'd already talked to you about, the change management and digital transformation and handling the data and insights and being more data-driven so that our clients can rely on us for those insights and that value-added type service. That's been a big change for us. That involves a whole significant number of things in terms of resources and technology that we've invested in, something I'm proud of. And then finally, the thing that I would talk the most about, I've hammered home and I've repeated it several times about digital transformation, and those things certainly continue. However, for us, one of the most important mind shift changes that we've made is the focus on analog transformation. Remembering that this is a people business and process business. We need to have the artists in addition to the scientists, the people, training our people, preparing them, developing them, motivating them, keeping them engaged, involving them, and giving them a seat at the table so that we can truly, really be customer-centric, client-centric, and employee-centric. When we focus on the people, then we differentiate ourselves and truly become one of those top 250 or so contact centers in the world. That's something different. Most are not doing that. They're focusing only on the technology. And we're focusing on technology. We certainly are. But if you don't have the people to operate the technology and to create the process and to service the customers and to create the designs, we're talking about design, to create the paths and designs and flows and journey mappings. If you don't have the right people, forget about it. You're out of luck. We've understood that, and so we focus significantly once again on our people. So I would summarize those things.
You know, I love how you finished on the people, right? We've talked a lot about technology, and we've also talked about some process. And even though we've talked about people throughout as the theme, the pieces that each of these things enable their success. But when we think about the contact center space in general, right, the volume of people that come in and out of the space, right, they go through the front line side of it, right? They've been an agent, they maybe been a supervisor at some point, but I think you gave a great example earlier when we were talking about QA, and it was a gotcha into how do we then transform the gotcha into investing into your success, right? How do you succeed, which helps us succeed, which helps the customer succeed, right? It's kind of that full circle you started with at the beginning. And so when you look at that piece of investing into making a career out of your call center experience versus it just being a blip on the radar, a story to tell in a moment, I do see that as a trend of reflecting back that it's just not an acceptance that this is a high turnover industry. It's not just an acceptance that you're just going to have a lot of attrition. That's just the way it works, is that there is a path for certain portions of your staff to really look at it and say, what does my future look like here? And that future may be fine. It's an extra 6 months. Well, extra 6 months may be a lot to how much time and effort and money you're spending to go hire, train, and bring in the next people and the turn up for them to ramp up and all the stuff that financially to your better, cheaper, faster. There has to be some stuff you learn from there as well.
Absolutely. It costs so much effort, time, money to get somebody to walk through the door, to apply, go through the process, hire them, train them, lead them, motivate them, wash, rinse, repeat. It's not in anyone's interest to let that person go unless they have to be let go because of one reason or another. You want to get those people to stay and to perform and reach their maximum level of productivity and enjoyment and engagement. If you can do that, everybody benefits. But that's where the art also comes in, right? There's a little science, but there's a lot of art to that and trying to figure out how to do that correctly so that you can get the extra 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and beyond. It's for all of our organizations, it's hard to hire and keep good talent. But that's what we have to do to be able to survive. And the second you lose those people, man, it becomes significantly harder to get someone as good or better to walk back through the door. You don't want them to leave. Keep them as long as you can. Make them happy. Make it a lucrative experience for them because the world changed. Certainly the world changed in the pandemic, and it's not easier to hire and retain anymore.